Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight. Let's move on to the Spotlight segment, and this week is the big week in Qualcomm. Of course, we're talking about the chip that powers a lot of our devices, whether it's a mid-ranger or it's a flagship device. This week, of course, Qualcomm's doing a lot of things about the chip. This is the time that they hold that conference every year in Hawaii, in Maui. I've been in Maui like maybe 23 years ago, back in 2001. I'm not sure if I'm such a person that likes islands, but I was there for 8 days, and I think I had enough of it. It was way too expensive. Maybe because I was a poor man, or I am a poor man, I didn't get to, whatever. But Maui, I like it, but gosh, I don't think I was meant for an island. I couldn't be on an island perpetually. John, you like islands?
Not necessarily. I have a cousin who I'm really close with who lives in Hawaii, and unfortunately, I've not been able to visit her. Like you said, it's very expensive.
It is very expensive, and if you don't, I don't know how the locals do it because everything is so touristy, and I think all the tourists make things expensive for them, but the people always find a way. It's just the same thing when I was in the Bahamas. It was kind of very expensive. But so back to that Qualcomm, so Qualcomm has that new chip that they were talking about, the Qualcomm 8 Elite, and that's supposed to be what's powering our next devices, the flagship devices. And Xiaomi, though, I give this to Xiaomi. Xiaomi is always on it, right on top of it. And they're going to be the first ones to jump onto that chip on 29th of this month when they unroll the Xiaomi 15. I wish Ed was here, so we'll give him a bad time about the cat. Maybe he could go get another cat and show it to us. But what do you guys think about this? They said it's like 45% better than Gen 8.3.
So it is impressive. I'll say that. Normally, I think year to year they maybe increase it by 20% or something. So it is a higher jump. I don't know. I think it's a bit dramatic to call it the Elite. They could have just called it the Gen 4, but they're trying to set themselves apart, and it does. As far as benchmarks go, I mean, it is looking good. It's right up there with Apple's best chip at the moment.
Yeah, some are even claiming that it beats the Fruitvale, chip. So we'll see what happens. Kind of making me feel like, hey, maybe I should jump ship because I know for sure Samsung is going to have it, come January when the S25 series rolled out. And I hope that all of them would have that same chip. I think that's what it is, right? That's what the game
rumor is. I mean, it's not been confirmed, but rumor is they are all going to have this now. No matter what the region. I hope that's the case. I know. I mean, obviously nothing's confirmed at this stage, but rumor has it that no matter what region, the next line of the S25 series will have the Snapdragon 8 Elite in it. And if that's the case, Salah, I'm wondering, will you be upgrading or?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get S25. I'm like seriously considering it.
Yeah, that's going to be quite a performance increase. I'm hoping TalkBack will be even snappier. I mean, I don't have any complaints on my Samsung phone, but
yeah, definitely.
It could only get better.
Loving the experience with TalkBack on my S23, but from 23 to 25, it's going to be a great upgrade. And given the fact that there is a new processor and there won't be any country limitations, that's definitely going to get my hands on it as soon as it goes. I'm going to pre-order even that. Going to pre-order it just to make sure.
Because this is why you skipped the 24 series, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping for something big, I told you.
Yeah, so it's really very tempting because and a lot of other Chinese manufacturers jumping on it. I think Vivo or something from Apple, they're also rolling something out at the end of this month as well. And then of course the OnePlus 13 is going to be coming with it. So if you're in the US, for example, you want to have a taste of that, and if you're not a Samsung fan or you're not patient to wait till Samsung rolls out their devices next year, early next year, you could also get the OnePlus 13, which I'm almost positive it'll be coming out before Samsung rolls out their devices, the S series, S25 series next year.
Yeah, it will come out this year, but probably not in the US. Usually their US launch OnePlus is
Yeah, a little bit delayed.
January or February. Yeah, so it might be around the same time as Samsung.
Yeah, probably they will do it a bit early after January, and it's gonna first go in China. And yeah, it's exciting still.
Yeah, so we're in for exciting times, and I think there was something also that Qualcomm was talking about, the car thing. So the whole idea of this 8 Elite is that the power is like equal to a laptop. So I mean, this is what people have been looking for a while, right? Wanting a replacement for the laptop where everything is done on their phones. And so frankly, if we have such power on a device, I think it'll be a dream come true for most of the people that have been looking for something like this for quite a while. And I think we're in for a good treat. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I'm a Pixel guy, so unless I jump ship temporarily, just to experience the other girl,
Well,
so to speak.
speaking of the power, I'm sure, like, since Android offers a lot of opportunities to work on the go, this new chip is going to make things way better. I mean, definitely, it's going to be a game changer.
Well, I don't see myself replacing my laptop, even if I have a high-end phone, and even if it is like an S25, for example. I don't think that I will be replacing my laptop because I think there are things that, especially with word processing, we still need a lot to be done on. I mean, as a blind person, I'm not talking in general here, because we don't have like something which is similar to what Office from Microsoft gives us on the laptop. So I think for me, I'm still like I'm okay with a weaker laptop if compared to my phone, but I'll still use it.
I don't think it's only us blind people,
Yeah.
dear girl, because I think when it comes to all that productivity, you can't beat the laptop or the computer. It makes a lot of things a whole lot easier. And we keep hearing, they're going to replace laptops or computers are going to be gone. But I think we have them here for a long time before we actually get rid of those. I don't know. Maybe for a long time before we say goodbye to them, because like you indicated, I mean, there are a lot of things that we can do comfortably on a laptop that we can't. Takes a little bit longer to do it on a phone. And looking at you, Word, experience shows, for me at least, is that when I'm doing that document or management on my phone, it's not as smooth as what I have on my laptop. So, for the foreseeable future, I think I'll be using that laptop for a while before I completely switch until something else happens that makes things a whole lot better. But right now, I don't think so. So we were talking offline about, updatability and, OS updates, years of update. Another thing that Qualcomm talks about is that they're going to make it possible for manufacturers to update, or it's going to have an 8-year support of updates. I don't know if that's going to be something that they will be doing for sure. But if they do, then I think it's a good thing. What do you guys think about that? We were talking about the fact that most people would be getting rid of their phones, within that 5 or whatever years. But 8 years sounds good on paper, but I don't think that they would really do it, or maybe sometimes it's just marketing because it looks good on paper. But because if you keep devices that long and people are not buying it, then it all defeats that whole purpose of them rolling out a new device every year, keeping that cash flow in. So what do you guys think about this? I like it. Don't get me wrong. 80-year support, I'm all for it.
Yeah, so what's happening here is Google is changing their requirements from it used to be they required the vendor partition to be, you could use the same vendor partition for 3 years. Now they're changing that to 7 years. So it should technically be easier for manufacturers to update the OS because they could just update the system part and not have to worry about updating the vendor partition. So it will be easier for them, whether they whether they take advantage of it or not is a whole nother thing.
So that's definitely make the Chinese are happy. They're going to be happy. A lot of devices and a lot of devices though, and it will be with a lot of updates coming to their device.
What really sometimes kind of gets me wondering is that if these custom ROM guys are able to support these things, I'm kind of wondering what happens. How are these guys doing these things? Yeah, definitely some things don't work as normal or whatever. But still, though, because if I'm looking at an 80-year device or maybe a 10-year device, and those guys are able to, breathe new life into those things with a newer OS, and it leaves me scratching my head. What's going on here? Is someone trying to, keep that moolah flying out of my pocket, or what's going on?
Let me say that, those people do custom rooms and they really turn those old points coming alive. But some certain features are not working exactly as they should. So you don't see them as they advertise, okay, I'm running Galaxy S3 on Android 15, but something is not working there. Like you cannot really do basic stuff. Though it's working with Android 15, something is not working there. So it's technically not really an upgrade.
But at least, though, it kind of gives you that little taste of that newer device. Because, I mean, that's the Galaxy S3 that you just mentioned was, I think it died on maybe Jelly Bean or Kit Kat. I don't remember. I have one sitting somewhere. I don't remember what it has. Yeah. So when you look at things like that, it's kind of, so it's a balance between, the devil and, the good guy. And I would rather see them kind of supporting it in some sort of way to where we get a little more of support for the OS. But going on forward, most devices now, or most manufacturers, I should say, will at least for the most part give us a 5-year. I think even Motorola came out saying they are going to do some 5-year updates. So we'll see how that pans out. But I don't think with Motorola we've got to see it to prove it, right?
Yeah, speaking on the marketing side, you said, they'll it's gonna get a 7 years of upgrade. How they're gonna sell new phones? They need to do something interesting to make it sell. Like imagine Apple, in the other side of the sea, they're really giving a lot of updates to their phones, but they're still selling huge. So this is what's gonna happen for the other manufacturers, I guess.
Yeah. So the whole idea is that, give us updates. People will still buy new phones, even if you give us, many years of OS support, because not everybody wants to be using yesterday's wine. A lot of people would like to get what is new on that newer device, because some certain things are only available with certain chips, right? We're talking about the 8 Elite, for example. Maybe some things, that, especially the AI, will be more improved. A lot of AI would be offline. So people would want to be able to take advantage of that, and so they'll have to buy that. So it's not like a wall between people and buying new devices if you give us more years of updates.
Yeah, the truth is that I don't think the reason people get a new phone, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think the reason people get a new phone is because their current phone is not getting the new version of Android. Like, so, like, I don't know that people are like, oh man, my phone doesn't have Android 15 this year. I guess I have to buy a new phone. Like, if you either want a new phone or you're not, I don't think that's the reason. So, yeah, I don't think they have to be worried about those people not buying new phones because they have the most recent version of the OS. I think very few people buy new phones for that specific reason.
Actually, many people don't know actually what is the Android version that they are running and if it is the latest version or not. So let's be here trying to be realistic. Actually, many people are not aware of the updates and what they are giving them and the current developments.
You are
Yeah, I
right,
think
Erin. I've
a
always
lot of normal people don't even want to, like my parents, when they see an update, they're like, oh man, this is gonna break my phone. Like when my parents they use iPhones and they're still on the iPhone 8. Like, so they haven't gotten updates for a year now, and like they're living their best life because they're not being bothered. They're not being bothered to update their phones anymore. Like, that's how normal people look at this stuff.
I've always said that, a lot of people, it's only those of us who are enthusiasts that tend to do this or, clamor for these OS updates. A lot of people don't, they don't even know that there's such a thing as an update, to be honest. I'm looking at my wife, for example. If I don't do it, she's not going to do it.
That reminds me of my colleague. He was doing something in his banking app, and suddenly there was an update. He said, "Oh, there's an update again. Oh, come on."
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. So it's just those of us that are into the we know too much, and sometimes they say, "What you don't know doesn't hurt you," right? So the average Joe out there on the street, frankly, doesn't give a rat about updates. They don't even know about updates. I'm looking at my neighbor across the street that I help out from time to time with his device. He has no clue, I mean, he was running the J7 from like 2017 until last year, the thing fell apart and he got a new one. So it's just one of those things. People are able to, watch their YouTube clips. They're able to send their text messages, take that occasional phone call. Now, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and honestly, for those using the Chinese phones, I'm asking what phone do you use? They only know the brand. I'm using Oppo. I'm using Xiaomi. Yeah, what's the phone model? I don't know.
Yeah, people don't give a rat about that.
Yeah.
See, and like I said, it's just us, the people that know too much. It becomes a problem. You lose sleep during the night because you're thinking, oh, I don't have this great phone from Xiaomi, or
Yeah,
I don't
dreaming
have
of
this
S25 all day.
S25 Ultra is coming on, and we're all salivating as to when it's going to come, and am I going to be able to get it, and all of that. A lot of people don't give a rat.